What's up? I've been drinking the JC Kool-Aid for the past few months, and after it popped up in the latest Nero show, linked below, I thought I'd share what I've learned and optimized. I used to bake my own oat bars and mix maltodextrin and glucose in my bottles, but when I moved into the van, it wasn't practical anymore, because baking is too much work in here, and also washing out sugar bottles all the time takes too much water, which is a limiting factor for me. So I went a few months on candy from the supermarket, which is probably cheaper than gels, but much more expensive than pure sugar. So when I switched to the sugar water, it completely changed how I fuel my rides. So I have been on the JC Sucrose based carbohydrate solution for the past few months, and I've only been consuming it in these squish bottles, even for shorter rides when I could fit the sugar in my water bottles, and that's for a few reasons. Jesse also says in the show that it's much easier to dose that way. Um, they take important factor for me. They take less water to clean, and these nozzles are super easy to clean. Um, yeah, I can put all the fuel in the jersey pockets and top up water on the way, so I don't have to plan on how much water I drink if it turns out hotter than I thought. And most importantly for me, because I hate that sweet taste all day long in the mouth, I can wash down every sip of sugar water with some water for my bottles, which will just have some electrolyte powder in it. And yeah, so no sweet taste in the mouth, and also it's much better for my teeth probably. I have these 250 and 150 milliliter Hydro Pack bottles. They're super solid. I really like the double nozzle. I usually open this with my teeth, and then you have the second membrane. So I've never had any leaks, and these bottles are super solid and they fold down to hardly anything when they're empty. So can recommend a lot. And from my experience, you can when you cook it up, which I usually do, you can fit 100 grams of sugar into 30 milliliters of water. So I think you can fit 300 grams of sugar into 250 ml, but I will only go 250 grams of sugar, for the main reason that I take this for every ride, and I cannot prepare it the evening before because it gets too cold, even in the south of Spain at night in the van. So at certain when it gets too cold, the sugar will crystallize in the water again, and then you cannot get it out of these squish nozzles, and it's also not a pleasant experience. So I prepare it basically before I start getting ready for the ride. So maybe half an hour before. Then I have time to put on my cycling clothes and do some activation exercises in between. And then last thing I'll do is I fill the bottle, then I go out. Yeah, and why do I only fit 250 then? Because I will add extra water to cool it down afterwards. And the the main thing that I learned is, yeah, you wash it down, but still the sugar water is not a really pleasant taste. And it gets really much better if you add some citrus juice. So I have these ice cubes, which I made from lemons. And I prefer limes, but those are from lemons, which is also good. And I'll add this after the cooking process to cool it down. So I'll actually show it for 100 milliliters, 100 grams of sugar, and I'll time it so we see how fast it cools down. These bottles can take 60 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so that tastes much better. So now for the part where we're actually gonna cook 100 grams of sugar. So I start the clock now. Of course, too much. So let's do 101 grams. Now we get 30 milliliters of water. which really isn't a lot. So it looks a bit frightening in the beginning, especially if you're mixing like 400 milliliters of 400 grams of sugar with just a tiny bit of water before you go out for a big ride. But you get used to it, and it really dissolves quite quickly when cooking. So I'm just going full power on the induction. Yeah, and Jesse says you don't need to bring it to a boil, but I don't have a kettle, so this is really the easiest solution for me. So now almost all the sugar is gone, but there's still a few crystals left. So what I'm waiting for is that it really bubbles up, and then when all the bubbles disappear, all the sugar will have dissolved into the water. So basically that's it now. Yeah, and it has gotten a bit thicker. It's like a bit of a syrup kind of situation, but all the sugar has dissolved in the water. And yeah, it took 2 minutes or something, right? So really quick. And yeah, now for the cooling down part. So I don't do this in practice, but it's best to get it out of the hot container, of course. Like if you want to cool it really down really quickly, you can even put it in like a water bath. And I guess you can also use, if you want to give it some taste, you can use the lemon or lime juice already during cooking. So replace half of your cooking liquid with citrus juice, and then you get a better tasting formula. But this is how I do it. Then I have some extra liquid in the bottles even. Yeah, so that is dissolved. Let's check the temperature. Yeah, and even after just that, now we're almost down to 60 degrees in the mix. So 3 minutes. So now I just wait another 5 minutes maybe, and swirl it around, stir it every once in a while, and then I'm down to 60 degrees, which I put in my bottle, and I'm ready to go. So I don't know if I can see. Does this have some measuring? Yeah, now with 100 grams I'm just at 100 milliliters, or slightly below. So easily 250 grams of sugar in this, and that's with adding the ice cube for cooling it down. So 300 grams is definitely possible, but with a bit of lemon, it still doesn't taste great. So it's nice that you can wash it down, but it tastes much better than without it. So I hope that helps. Good luck.